Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Pint Half Full. My name's Gary. I am going to be your host for today. As you can see, we're in our brand new podcast studio. Hopefully there's a little bit more production value for your eyes. Pint Half Full is about getting men talking. You know, it's a time where us three as a production team for Capital Content get together and have a chat. And we want other men to do that. You know, men, we're not that good at chatting to ourselves and talking about our feelings and, you know, getting stuff off of our chest. So we want this to help get men do their thing by talking to each other a little bit more than just football on a Saturday morning. So you'll be happy to know that I'm not the only person talking today. I am joined by Charlie and Chris. Charlie and Chris, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
I'm also very good.
Cool. That's it's good to have you on board. So how was everyone's weekend?
Good.
Mine was good as well.
Yeah? Oh, I think...
I'm not hungover for a Monday. Which
we're all a little bit off the booze,
I mean,
right?
I was a little bit ill for like half of it, but then, I kind of cured up towards the end, so it was all right in the end.
Yeah, it's been nice, like I said, kind of being off the booze. But everyone's on that kind of health trip at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But Chris, you, I think, played live?
I did. I played in a band. So if you have heard the first episode, I was coming into playing a final rock week with our band. We didn't win, but it was good.
You should have.
Well, we should have, thanks.
That's right. The kids coming up through the ranks, right? They stormed in with their big crowd.
Yeah, the band that won were great. 17 years old. Very good. Knew what they were doing. I definitely wasn't playing music when I was 17.
No, I was not either. Pet peeves. Now, I've got a whole bunch of pet peeves that I'm very much looking forward to ranting about, right? But Charlie, this was your topic that you wanted to have a chat about. So tell me a little bit about your pet peeves.
I thought that we could each do like 3 of our top pet peeves. Mm-hmm. So I've got a little list on my phone here of my 3.
Oh yeah. First one, hit me. First, is this the most one you hate? Is this that in priority order?
It's not in any order, like specific order, but it's just my top 3. I can't pick one over the other.
You hate them all equally?
Yeah, exactly. Standing up on an aeroplane when the plane stops, like lands.
Now this is a classic.
Like, where are you going?
This is a classic pet peeve. Right? So you're saying like when the plane lands, before the seatbelt signs.
Yeah, everyone's just up getting their luggage, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, no, especially if like you're towards the back of the plane, right? Because you're definitely not getting off first, right? No matter how quickly you get your bags on.
You get those people that if you're at the back of the plane, you can't always put your luggage above you.
Yeah.
You have your luggage halfway down. Yeah. You see them rushing past everyone to try and get the bags. Yeah. They're going to pass.
It's like there's a fire on the plane or something. Like, get off that.
Yeah, I am actually scared of flying. Right, I've told this story before, right? I have never stood up on a plane. You know, obviously I've stood up to like get to my chair, but once we're taxiing on the runway, I've never stood up. Right, I lived in New Zealand for 10 years and went back and forth a number of times, and that's like 2 12-hour flights, some of them 14-hour flights. Still never stood up.
So you don't go to the toilet on a plane?
What do I know?
Do you sleep?
I do sleep. Before, in the first couple of trips that I did, I was super anxious, right? I'm like crying in the chair, and I'm not sleeping at all, right? But then I learned NZ are quite, frivolous with their drug prescriptions. So I got like 30 Valium. I didn't take 30 Valium.
It's like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, man. And I did. So the first time I took it, so normally like my anxiety like goes through the roof, and it's a bit like Final Destination, There was this one time where I was, sitting on like the emergency aisle. Big mistake. I don't know why I did that. Sitting in the emergency aisle where the door is at the end, right?
Right.
I was there. There was my girlfriend at the time, and there was this guy who looked super hungover, and he had this cup of water. And he was drinking loads of water, and he kept on putting it on the ledge of the plane. So on the ledge of the plane door, and it was just like sitting there, shaking a little plastic cup of water. And in my head, I saw this plastic cup fall over, water go down the door, sparks flying, door flies out, we all get sucked out and die. End of your life, right? That's what happens in my head. Life, Final Destination. It's so bad. Don't know where it's come from. So then I was like, nah, stuff this. I'm not having any more of these major panic attacks because I'm going to be the person that's going to be screaming, running down the aisles, and like the the undercover police officer comes running along and rugby tackles him.
All pile on.
So I was like, nah. I went to the doctor. I was like, look, I really suffer from anxiety, and he goes, okay, cool. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 30 Valium. And he goes, test these two. Test before, before you go, just to make sure that you're okay. Because he gave me 30, and he needed 2. And I took 2 Valium, and I was like, yeah, man. And it's not like you're like, cash. I was like, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I took when
you do anything.
Yeah, no, I was like, when I took 2 when I was in the waiting lounge, and they called your name, went in, and honestly, it wasn't that I wasn't scared anymore. I was like, I'm gonna die. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like,
how long does it take to like kick in?
It's maybe about 45. It's just like a normal pill, really. So my friends tell me.
Yes.
But
don't take drugs, kids.
But honestly, I was like, because normally if an air stewardess kind of like bangs the cupboard door behind me, I'm fucking up like a cat, clinging to the roof because I'm shitting myself. But this was like, slam it harder, bitch. I don't care.
The amount of time he jumps.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I've got a nervous disposition anyway, right? Let alone 30,000 feet in the air when I'm absolutely shitting myself and really needing a piss. Yeah.
I do know what you mean though, because I get sometimes when it's taken off and I get sweaty palms, sweaty feet, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm looking down at this floor, and in between this floor and the ground, there's like thousands of feet. Like, that goes through my head as well. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. My mind kind of pictures this camera kind of like backing out of the plane.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at the plane and a big wide thing. Yeah. So, standing up on a plane.
Yeah.
Another quick diversion. I did a shoot for an agency when I lived in NZ, and they did, it was for Jetstar, which I think is their version of EasyJet, and they did an a cappella flash mob on a plane. And I was like, if this ever happens to me, I'm gonna fucking kill all of you. I don't care. I'm gonna kick this door down and jump out myself. A cappella. Firstly, flash mobs. It's not 2005, right? Let alone an a cappella flash mob on a plane where I can't get away and I'm already scared. No, I'm literally gonna pull out a gun and kill everybody. Sorry. Number 2.
Saying I don't mind. Now,
oh God,
I did.
Is this a girlfriend wanting what to know for dinner?
This applies to even good friends that I know, but it's like, what should we do tonight? Should we go to the pub? Should we go bowling? Like stuff like that. And I don't mind. And then like everyone says I don't mind, and then you're all back at square one again, and you're like, well, someone needs to be a dick and go, right, we're doing this.
Someone needs to be the alpha, right?
Yeah.
Someone needs to be like the team leader and go, okay, cool, fuck you, I'm going home, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, but exactly. But if all of you all the time say I don't mind, you just don't get fucking anywhere.
No, that's right. It's like, let's just go to McDonald's. Yeah. I hate that. And number 3.
Number 3, talking too much about themselves in a conversation. Like if they just overrule it and it's all about them, and you just don't get a word in. It's like frustrates you. But it's all about me kind of thing. Exactly.
Is it what they call pick me people?
Yeah,
that's kind of the slang, right? And I think you're right. That frustrates me. I'm not a very good conversationalist, and actually we talk about this in my topic later. And for someone to talk about themselves is difficult. It's you go through when you're younger, like the whole dating ritual, and you try and get the girl, quote unquote, to talk about themselves. But when they forcefully talk about themselves, it's super laborious. And you're like,
it's hard to keep it going as well.
And it's annoying when they don't realise. I think they're talking about
that's
themselves.
the biggest thing.
And they don't realise that they've been talking for 20 minutes. And you know everything about them, but then you know nothing about you.
Because no one's going to tell them like stop talking about yourself, because that's like it's quite rude. But someone eventually needs to say, look, you're talking too much about yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, they don't learn.
Yeah, that's right. It's like when you get to the third. Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
They go, oh, I've heard that 3 times now.
Yeah.
I should probably stop talking about myself. Chris, your pet peeves. I don't know if I've got 3 in all fairness, but I'll try and get there. Go on.
Off the cuff.
Did you do 3?
Yeah, he did
3.
do 3.
I did 3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I got a few.
Hit me.
Sneezing or coughing, but you don't cover your mouth.
Oh yeah, Charlie.
That's
Charlie.
what? I thought that.
Well, actually, last week when you were ill, you were actually okay, but like
Medium, okay.
yeah, medium. But I think it's just if you're in small spaces, like if you're in a lift or a train and people do it, I'm just like.
Yeah, we've learned now, right? We've evolved. I think before COVID, people didn't really care so much. You know, it was just rude to not do it.
Yeah.
Now
it's always bugged me, but probably.
Now it's a big thing. We've learned to not spread the flu, not spread hand sands and masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yes, that really frustrates me. You know,
it's really not difficult.
Yeah, what I need to do is like bring in Charlie's cough. to alert people that they're not covering their mouth, so they're not covering their mouth. You go, because that's how Charlie coughs.
It sounds the same.
I'll be better, all right.
Yeah. You're like, whoa. I'm like jumping out of a plane.
It's just all of a sudden.
Number 2.
Okay, number 2. So drivers that are just unaware of what's going on. So it could be that they're just driving really slow.
Yeah.
Just taking their time. They think they're driving a lorry, but really they're in a smart car. And it's just like it just winds me up.
I think that it's, and I don't know whether this is just me getting into a grumpy old man, but there seems to be more of it. There seems to be more and more over the last 10 years of really bad drivers. The biggest thing, one of my pet peeves, let's say, is driving like 65 but in a fast lane. Or in the middle lane, when the middle lane hoggers. Oh my God, that frustrates me. Yeah. What I tend to do, I'm like a vigilante on the roads, right? My actions are trying to better people's driving. So as I drive past someone when they're in the middle lane, I'm having to go into the fast lane. I will quickly pull in to the middle lane to say to them, "Hey, idiots, you're in the middle lane and you're going 65 and there's no one else around." The only reason you should be in the middle lane or the fast lane is if you're overtaking somebody. If you're not, go back in the slow lane. And this is me being a grumpy 42.
I tend to many times I'll go on the slower lane. Is that the inside lane?
Yeah.
And undertake them.
Just to prove the point.
Thinking they would think it was weird. Oh, someone's undertaking me. Oh,
I better slow down.
And they still don't.
No, they still don't. That really frustrates me.
I think that is a bit of everyone's pet peeve.
Yeah, man. And the classic when they don't flash or they indicate too late.
100%.
And everybody, I think we're waiting there in the car as you're letting someone through. You're waiting to see if they wave. If they don't wave, oh, thanks so much! Shout through the window.
You're welcome.
Do it for anybody. Like I said, I'm a vigilante man. I try and get people to be better drivers through my own actions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
My third one.
Yep.
Out of 20 is loud eaters.
Oh yeah.
So
there's a funny sketch of Ricky Gervais where like he's eating like a pig or something, like on the Afterlife.
Oh yeah.
I can hear you eating from here. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, no, but it's just loud eaters. I think we were saying earlier, mainly in cinemas.
Yes.
I cannot stand that. Like eating crisps or popcorn, but so loud.
Yeah.
Like. Even when it's loud, the film's like something's happening, not when it's like it's quiet and they're just munching away.
Yeah. I think even the rustle,
Yeah.
Of opening up the wine gums or rustling through the popcorn or whatever it is. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, like
we're not 12 anymore.
At least put like the crisps in a bowl or something, like from the packet, because even just rustling in the packet is noisy.
Give me one more. You got a list of other pet peeves there? What else have you got?
The other one was it doesn't happen often, but I kind of hate it when you meet someone that you haven't seen for years, and they say, "What you been up to?" Because I'm just like, I haven't seen you for 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been up to quite a lot. In 5 years.
You can't sum it up.
I'll send you an email. Because
it frustrates me when they do that. It doesn't happen a lot. But I'm just
you're
like,
right.
It's a weird question to ask. What
so
you been up to?
what
Well, over the last 5 years, I've done this.
Yeah, loads. And in fact, actually, but then on the other hand, all you've been doing is working as well. With general life. Like, what have you been up to? Well, why haven't you kept in contact with me in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Stop talking about yourself. Okay, cool. So one of my biggest pet peeves, and this is a marketing thing, is dubbed adverts. Right? You might have seen a couple of them. It's like a washing machine brand at the moment. Calgon, maybe. Washing machines live longer with Calgon.
Yeah.
sponsor of the show. They've recently released a couple more adverts. There was this old one where there was like an engineer, a washing machine engineer in what looked like a war-torn warehouse for some reason, but he like scooped up gunge out of the washing machine and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's obviously shot overseas because the guy, it's dubbed, and you can tell it's dubbed with the voice over the mouth and that. And I'm like, firstly, that doesn't resonate with the English-speaking crowd because they can see that there's inauthenticity in that video because it's dubbed, right? They're effectively lying. And then also, it's very easy for them to have just got an English-speaking actor on set that day and just shooting the same thing again. Or getting that person bilingual if they're able to speak the language that they're shooting in, get it also to speak in English, Italian and French, let's say.
And I'm assuming like these companies have got so much money.
The budget for the ad is probably $100,000, right?
Yeah, right. But
add another £500
spare that extra money just to get that, because I agree with you, it kind of comes across quite foreign to us.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can clearly see that their mouths are moving.
Clearly see it.
Looks ridiculous.
It's and what's so funny is that they also try and hide it. They try and use the words and like the mouth movement. They try and match the words to the mouth movement, and you're like, don't try and pull the wool over my eyes. Yes, I am in marketing. I look for those sort of things, but the general public can see it also. Don't lie to me.
Not fall for your tricks.
Yeah, don't I will buy my own washing powder. I don't need someone miming over English spoken word. Right? No. Awful. So that wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. So this is kind of off the back of your weekend, Monks. Yeah. So I am an introvert masquerading as an extrovert, right? And it's very difficult for me to, we're getting a bit serious now. It's very difficult for me to go into kind of large group situations and have a conversation or, try and get through that evening. I try to avoid large groups of people anyway, but as a business owner, I know that it is important to kind of go into these large groups because it helps benefit the business, or even going on stage.
You got to be the face of it, right?
Yeah, doing live talks or anything like that. And I get absolutely filled with anxiety, days before like an event, especially when it's a large group, even a large group of friends as well, right? I've had this conversation with Chris before where I actually plan, not like to the point where I'm writing down notes on a bit of paper, but I'm planning what I'm saying before I go to a house party of all of my mates. I think about who's there, and I think about talking points on what I can talk about, so there isn't this awkwardness of myself. And I don't know whether that is me trying to put an ambulance to the bottom of the cliff for myself, or am I trying to please everybody to make sure that there is conversation? And in reality, it's all totally fine, it's all totally okay. But I have played in bands in past life, and I've been on stage, and it's, I think it's okay, I almost kind of jump into that moment, try and get through the next 20 minutes and then jump back out of it again. And then I'm absolutely exhausted. And my wife kind of keeps talking to me about it, saying that I need to be better at seeing all of my friends all in groups, because we're getting older now and it's difficult to see one-on-one. What usually happens now is we see each other in groups. But it kind of went back to a conversation that we were having on Friday, where you play in a band, right? And we're obviously on this health trip, where everybody in the world is on a health trip, in January, and you're trying to dial back on the booze, right?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that actually a couple of beers before a gig helps you loosen up.
Takes the edge off.
Yeah, I think, going on, like the gig that I did a week ago, I thought I wouldn't drink, and I went on stage and it was awful. I still managed to play the bass, and we were fine, but I just felt so awkward up there. I just don't like the fact that I'm on stage and people are looking at us. I just find it so awkward. I'm not someone that dances around. I sort of stand still. So this week I had a couple beers just to sort of settle my nerves. I felt I played better. I still really overthink it. I'm just thinking, because I can just be playing and then thinking I'm not moving. And I think that's because I've had so many comments before being like, you actually enjoying it? I'm like, yes, I am.
Got the old
enjoying
bass
it.
face going.
I love it, but I'm not one of the bassists that dances around.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of do stand there, move a little bit, and play the bass.
Yeah.
And if I start thinking about moving, I fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm always I just, you know,
You're in your own head.
In a band practice, it's completely different. But when there's people watching you,
and
it's horrible. I just hate it. I just want to be off stage, really. But I at the same time, then I love playing.
Yeah, and it's tough to think that we got to have a couple of beers to be able to be in these group or extrovert situations. It's the same with me. You know, I feel like I'm probably okay after a couple of beers, but we should be talking about our feelings. We should be okay. We should have less anxiety without having to have a pint before it. You know, and this is the purpose of the podcast, is to get to chat. And we also, you know, although we say a pint half full, and you know, it looks like a beer, it can be anything. It can be water. You don't feel like you're pressured to be able to have to drink every time in any situation. But the problem that men have, I think, or at least introverts have, is that they have to have a couple of drinks, or they choose to have a couple of drinks, shall I say, to get through that anxiety, because I'm not a massive fan of it. Charlie, you are half our age, so you've probably been through less, but I don't feel that changes anything for you. So what are your thoughts on introvert versus extrovert?
Yeah, like I don't know if I've like diagnosed myself as being an introvert yet, but what I do know is that I'm very much, I mean, it's kind of ironic because our podcast is named like Pint Half Full, but sometimes I can be pint half empty. Like attitude where, like for instance, my car the other day, like the catalytic converter light came on, and it just kind of, first thing that went to my head was, I'm going to have to spend thousands of pounds. My car's going to be a write-off. I'm having such a shit day, like all this. And then I just get bummed up in my head and anxiety, everything, right? And then it just ended up being a couple £100.
Yeah, lovely.
Right? So like that's kind of like how it is sometimes with shoots. Like I will, like you, I'll get anxious like a few days before and build myself up. On the day, it goes smoothly, or something goes out, but I find a way around it. And
and I think what you're saying is that there's, you know, it also changes your outlook on life a little bit as well, to say, actually, you know, it's kind of like doom scrolling, or you look through and everything's a bit of a negative, you know, you think, oh, something's going to go wrong, I'm in front of client, or my car's going to cost £1,000, and actually, no, it's actually okay, right? It's actually was only £300. And we did this coaching shoot last week, and she talked about your anxiety and around the fear of being in control, and I think that is where it kind of spurs from the introvert, extrovert, pessimist, optimist kind of thing, where the way that she said was to write down everything that's on your mind, everything that you is going through your life right now. Just literally do a brain dump, write it as a list, everything that's really frustrating, giving you anxiety. And then she said, write down 3 columns. You write, this is Carver coaching, by the way. You write in total control, can influence, and out of my control. And then start to put those things in control, can influence, out of control. And then the things that are out of your control, completely ignore.
Scrap it.
It's not in your control at all. So that is probably, the majority of the things that probably generates anxiety for us is stuff that's out of our control. But I think there might be this stigma around men having to be in control, and not showing their feelings and being that alpha and looking after the people around you and stuff. So stuff that's out of our control is probably why we're so anxious, and I think we need to talk about that more. But then with the stuff that is totally in our control, that then becomes your to-do list. That's your list of priorities that you crack on with, because you are in complete control of that list. And I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. I have a list of to-dos, but actually I should change that to be a list of things that I need to affect in my life, and separate them into ones that I am in complete control of and ones that I am not in complete control of.
I think when you highlighted like things that are out of our control, like that can happen a lot before live streams. I think probably one of the things that are the most risky in what we do here
are things that are completely out.
That's right. Literally. And
there's 1,000 things that
we
can
laugh
go wrong
about it, and we say, oh, like something will go wrong. Literally every time, like there's one thing, whether it's small or big, it will just go wrong.
Yeah. And do you know what? And going back to your car, you know, it was out of your control in what the outcome of your car was. And thinking that it was going to be £1,000 really upset your day. It really put you down.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was completely out of your control. So if you had put that thing in the out of control, completely out of my control list, you would have completely gone, no, I'm not going to think about it anymore, and your day would have been okay.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So I think that it's a really good skill to be able to nurture, specifically for a man anyway, because we need to be seen to be in control, is to actually separate what you are in control of and what you're not in control of.
And I mean, this will head on to our next conversation.
Yeah.
But like, I think for the new year, I think pint half full is what I'm trying to go for.
Good. That's
like,
a positive
get away from,
mental attitude.
Yeah, because I think I can very much be a no person and a negative person. So I think in the new year, we're going to go on to this now, but like that's 100%
and it's
what
good
I
to
want.
like just try and chuck yourself into things because you know, like we've done this year, podcasts and live streaming.
Oh yeah,
two things that we just
So you guys
personally would never want to do, and I think maybe the same with you with the live streaming. But you just kind of chuck yourself into it, and
do you know what? And that's
it's going to get easier the more you do it.
Yeah, I think we are, you know, particularly you guys aren't used to doing podcasts or being on stage talking to a live audience, for example. And I have asked you to do this, and you were like, you know, this is a bit tough. And you're right. I think jumping into it and that realization, actually, it's not so bad. It's just us three in a room.
We're having a conversation.
You've just got to not overthink it. Like I've thought, like with coming on to this and even the live stream, it's just I know what I've got to say. I've just got to stop worrying about what other people are going to think. I'm just going to come and do it. If it works, it works.
You said it yourself, Charlie. New Year's resolutions. Let's end the show on that. What have you got for me? What's your New Year's resolutions?
Well, I think for a start is like keeping things more positive. You know.
Okay, cool. This is good because we had this conversation at our team breakfast a couple of weeks back. And your New Year's resolution, I'm gonna be honest, it was shit. Tell everybody what your New Year's resolution was the other day.
Cooking a roast from start to finish.
Wow. I mean.
Right, hang on. Arguably one of the hardest things to cook, all right?
It's not a resolution, though, is it? It's not like, be more
it's
positive.
Better than not having a New Year's resolution, Gary.
True, I'm totally right. It's not necessarily a resolution. You're not resolving anything.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry.
You're like, it's a goal. And then he goes, you're like, but I'm going to do it in December.
I'll wait till
do it right at the last minute. So then he achieves it. Well, so what happens if you do it like this Sunday? Boom, that's it. Just sit back. So sorry, your New Year's resolution is to be more positive.
Be more positive. I think get up. This is now linking to work. I think doing more of this stuff, like just getting up, speaking. I think I'm very much back office and behind camera and stuff, and I can be a bit quiet in meetings sometimes. So maybe just showing my presence a bit more and just making myself known a bit more, you know?
Good. That's a great resolution. Definitely to have as a younger person as well, because you can get to the likes of me, grumpy old man at 42, and it's difficult to be more positive if you're not already a positive person. You know what I mean? Monks.
So mine would be to get fit, eat well, and drink less. I think like a few years ago I joined the gym, but and it was quite a lot every month, but I kept going and I was running in the gym and I was thinking, well, I can just run outside. But I'm spending all this money, but then I was in a contract. So I literally spent a year going to the spa, but because I just couldn't be bothered to go into the gym then. So this year I'm definitely starting to run more, do a bit of exercise. We're eating well, less drink. And I've done that, for the last 2 weekends. I've just had maybe a couple of pints, but it's good. And I feel good for it. Like we were saying earlier, like we're not hungover on a Monday.
No.
As normally it is. And a Monday's a
This
write-off.
would be tough.
Tuesday sometimes a write-off. And then like you start to get, feel better on a Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday. And it's the weekend again.
I used to do Thirsty Thursdays. And that would absolutely destroy my Friday. I'd be upstairs like with the heating on, freezing, eating KFC, ignoring emails, and it's like, well, that's not productive at all. That's detrimental to the business, right? So I think healthy like attitude. It's not like I'm going to drink 5 pints less. It's more because I have type 2 diabetes, and I've managed to get through to the point where my default is better. You know, if I go for a drink, when I was younger, if I wanted to go get a drink from the kitchen, it would be a full sugar Red Bull or a can of Fanta or whatever. Now my default is a glass of water or a glass of sugar-free squash or whatever, you know. So the default for me is better now. Which I think is really what the resolution is that you're looking for, is that it's not that you're just going to fall back to eating KFC every day. It's that you're, to maintain
moderation,
maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And to your question about me not having a New Year's resolution, yes, I don't have a New Year's resolution. And that's because I tend to fail quite a lot in terms of these resolutions. I always think I put a specific task in place that I need to do regularly, and I never really do it. It comes to like mid-Feb, and then I'm fucked again, right? But my birthday is on January 3rd. So I do go through this, kind of epiphany, big moment kind of period or phase around New Year's and birthday, because there is a big step change in terms of the new year, another birthday kind of thing. So I do kind of have like this moment to myself, and I do try and put some sort of focus towards the new year, not specifically a resolution, but in particular this year is the year of growth for me. So I want to grow as a father, like be better. Well, not that I'm a bad father, but grow more. I've got another child on the way.
Gain more knowledge and
just kind of be like, better sounds funny to say because it's not that I'm bad. Just like grow more as a father. And then also want to grow the business. So everything that we're doing is we're growing Capital Content. All of this internal content, all part of Capco_originals. And then also really focus on growing the accounts that we look after. So yes, we do all of this organic stuff, but what I want to see is some serious growth for these accounts, because if their success means our success. So for me, 2023, absolutely the year of growth. I think that's it. I think we've spoken for long enough. Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks very much for listening or watching wherever you're getting your podcast or video injection. Apple, YouTube, Google, Spotify, wherever you get those things. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Pint Half Full, and like I said, you don't need to have alcohol. You can have a coffee or a water or a squash. You don't need to have a drink, but we're here to help men get talking more, talking better about their feelings. It doesn't need to be a pint. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.